Okay, we have the classification of the relays. Classification depends upon the various factors like actuating quantities, components, and the function of that. And according to the quantities by which the relay operates, we will have the thermal relay, we have the overcurrent relay, over voltage relay, then we have the under voltage relay, then we will have the frequency relays. So we have the frequency relays, overfluxing relays, and the power relays. So it depends upon the quantities by which the relay operate. Now, if you take the case of this thermal relays, and the thermal relays are generally used for the overloading of the motors. What we do, we generally use the type of metal having the different coefficient of the linear expansion. Now, what happens that this is connected to that subsystem, and whenever suppose some this occurs, heat occurs, and as a result, what happens? The coefficient of the linear expansion, suppose, of this metal is more than that of that. So it will heat up, and as a result, the contacts will be closed and relay will operate. Then the overcurrent relay, it is based on this. If the current is more than the predefined value, then we have the overcurrent relay, over voltage relay, that is voltage under voltage relay. Then the frequency relay, suppose the frequency is very less and the system stability is at stake, definitely it will operate. And then after that, we will have for overcurrent relays, if you take the case, it has a instantaneous overcurrent relay, and then we have the over voltage relay, under voltage relay, frequency relay, overfluxing relay. Overfluxing relay is generally used for the transformers. If you take the case of a transformer, you will have can you tell me that what's the equation of EMF equation of the transformer? It is the EMF equation of the transformer, and if the flux is more, and as a result, what happens? Because of that, it goes to saturation. So these are some of the issues. So this power relays are basically the directional relays. It detects the reversal of the power. Suppose the power is desired in this particular direction, and what happens? The fault takes place, and as a result, this generator which is connected across that, it is also feeding that. So it will this relay will trip. So this is the power relay. It detects the reversal of the power in the power network. So reverse power protection, that is the best example of this power relay. So if you take the case of the overfluxing relay is actually used in the transformer, and this power relay is used for this detecting the flow of this power in the negative direction. Now, second classification of the relay, this is based on that. Now, the second classification is according to the construction. According to the construction, so we will have attracted armature type relay, attracted armature type relay. Then second, we will have induction disc or induction cup type relay, induction disc or cup type relay, and then after that we have the balanced beam type relay. We can discuss all these things when we are discussing in different types of the relays. So I am showing here so that you must have some basic idea of these different type of relay. So these kind of relays are based on the construction, and you can have attracted armature type, induction disc type, and the balanced beam type relay. Now, attracted armature type, if you take the case of attractive armature type relay, in that very case, the best example is the instantaneous overcurrent relay. Instantaneous overcurrent relay. And the other induction disk type, it in the example of this, the other example, this is actually the induction disk type relay. So it is used in, we generally use it in the directional relay, directional or the distance relay. Directional or the distance relay. And the other type of relay, the balanced beam type structure, and this the differential relay is actually based on that. Now, next, third one is according to the number of sensing quantities. According to the number of sensing quantities, it can be classified as single input, multi-input. First is the single input. Then we have the multi-input. And if you take the case of the single input, then single input actually it senses only the one quantity and it responds when the input quantity exceeds the predetermined threshold. And the multiple input, if you take the case of the multiple input, then in that very case, the relay measures two or more quantities and responds when the output of the mixing device, that is which is getting the multiple input, is more than the threshold of the predetermined value. Now, next is the fourth is according to the function in the protective scheme. According to the function in a protective scheme. So according to the function in the protective scheme, we will have main relay, then we have the auxiliary relay, then after that we will have signal relay. Now, as I have already discussed in the last lecture, the main relay is actually, it gets the information from the system transducers like CT and PT, and it gives the information to the, you can say that, to the auxiliary relay. And the main function of the auxiliary relay, which is also part of the control circuit that we have discussed in the last lecture. So auxiliary relay actually performs the function of giving the current to the trip coil of the circuit breaker. Now, another kind of relay, it also performs the function of interlocking and other functions, which is not performed with the main relay. Now, second is the kind signal relay. Now, the basic the function of signal relay is you can say that if I want to give the specific signal to some circuit, then this type of relay is used. So this signal relay is used if we want to give the signal to some specific circuit, then this type of relay can be used. Now the fifth classification, this is the fourth classification. So according to the function in the protective scheme. Now fifth is according to the components and devices used. Fifth, according to the components and devices used. Now, according to the components and devices used, it can be classified as electromagnetic relays, electromagnetic relays. These are actually based on the mechanical devices. Then static relays, electronic devices. Electronic devices. Then we have the microprocessor based relays. Microprocessor based relays, which is based on the sophisticated algorithms. Which is based on sophisticated algorithms. And next is the digital or the numerical relay. Digital or the numerical relay, and this is the fast. It has the fast processor with the communication facilities. Fast processor with the this you can say with the communication facility. So first was the this electromagnetic relay. These are very rugged, and actually these are very shock proof also. Then we have the static relays, which is based on the electronic devices, and the microprocessor relays, which are based on the sophisticated algorithm. The digital and numerical relays, actually it contains digital or numerical relays contain all the relays, because all the relays all the work which are performed by the other relays, it can be easily performed by the digital and the numerical relays. Now next is the sixth classification is according to the characteristics they adopt. So this is also, there is also historical development related to that we can discuss that when this electromagnetic relay came, and that we can discuss after this classification, and when the static relay came, when the microprocessor based relay, and when the digital relay came. So all this historical process. So at least you should know that about the history of all these relays, and what relay now we are using. The next classification, sixth classification, is the last classification, is according to the characteristics they adopt. According to the characteristics they adopt. So according to the characteristics, we will have the instantaneous relay, then we have time delayed relay, then we have inverse time relay, this is about the different type of relays. So let's have the quick recap of all these things that we have discussed. So first was the according to the quantities by which the relay operates. जिस quantities से relay operate करती है, first thermal relay है, over current relay, over voltage relay, this under voltage relay, frequency relay, overfluxing relay, और the power relays. ओवरफ्लक्सिंग रिले यूज करते हैं हम जनरली ट्रांसफार्मर के केस में, ताकि सैचुरेशन ना हो जाए ओवरफ्लक्सिंग से. एंड पावर रिले जनरली हम यूज करते हैं जब हम पावर फ्लो, नेगेटिव पावर फ्लो देखते हैं. नेक्स्ट इज द अकॉर्डिंग टू द कंस्ट्रक्शन के बेस पे वी विल हैव दिस अट्रैक्टेड आर्मेचर टाइप रिले, उसका एग्जांपल है इंस्टेनियस रिले, इंडक्शन डिस्क टाइप रिले दैट इज डायरेक्शनल रिले, बैलेंस बीम दैट इज द डिफरेंशियल रिले. Now according to the sensing quantity के बेस पे कितनी हमारी सेंसिंग क्वांटिटी है. सपोज हमें डायरेक्शनल एलिमेंट नहीं यूज करना, तो हमारा सिर्फ एक कंपोनेंट आएगा उसमें, करंट. So based on that we will have the single input and multiple input type of relays, and according to the function in a protective scheme, and that is क्या functions उस relay में है. जैसे वो divided है मेन relay में, auxiliary relay and signal relay. So the main relay is actually which is getting the information, जो information collect करती है from CT and PT, the system transducers. Auxiliary relay क्या करती है? Signal provide करती है, trip circuit of circuit breaker that we have discussed in the last lecture. And signal relay, if you want to give the signal to some kind of circuit, then signal relay is used for that very purpose. और उसके बाद fifth classification is according to the components and devices used. So कौन से devices और components हम use करते हैं? तो सबसे पहले electromagnetic. Then we have the static relays, microprocessor based relays, and the digital or numerical relays. So in this case, it's digital and numerical relay, it is based on the fast processing and with the communication facilities. That is, they can communicate with other relays also. So this is a very important point. So उसके बाद है characteristics they adopt. According to the characteristics they adopt, क्या characteristics वो adopt करती है? So based on that, we will have the instantaneous relay, time delayed relay, and inverse time relay. That is instantaneous relay. इंस्टेंटेनियस मीन्स वो उसी इंस्टेंट में वर्क करती है, टाइम डिले कुछ डिले के बाद वर्क करती है, एंड इनवर्स टाइम relay. Generally, these type of characteristics are used in the overcurrent relay. We can discuss how these characteristics can be counted. Now, next is the this historical development of the relays. Now we will discuss what are the historical developments of relays. So we can discuss one or two, and after that we can discuss in the next lecture. So the topic would be, in that very case, the topic would be the historical development. So in case of this first relays which are came into being, if you take the case, if you take into consideration this this historical development of that, in that very case, the first relay that came in the market, पहली relay जो market में आई है, it was in 1901. The first relay which came in the market, 1901. First relay which came in the market is the electromechanical relay. So this relay came in 1901. It was the electromechanical relay. It was in 1901. So these electromechanical relays, these are very rugged and very reliable. You can say these are very reliable. These are such reliable that still these are used by the little utilities because of its very less cost. These are used by the utilities due to the less cost considerations. So you can say that these kind of relays are still used by the utilities. So if you take the case of the advantage and the disadvantages of that, so electromechanical relay which came into being in 1901, if you take the advantage, if you consider the advantage of that relay, then the first is that they are reliable in nature. They are reliable in nature and still used by the utilities. Still used by the utilities. Now, this is one of the this advantage of that. Second one is that they provide isolation between the input and output quantities. input and output quantities, and they are rugged. They are rugged and can withstand voltage spike. They can withstand the voltage spikes due to the surges and can carry the substantial current. Due to surges and can carry substantial current. And can carry the substantial amount of current. So you can say that these are reliable, and still the utilities are actually using these kind of relays. So now the main basic principle of this kind of this electromechanical relay is that whenever the current flows through the winding, in a magnetic core, the force is produced, so which in turn energize the coil of the relay, and tripping, that is main context of this particular relay. However, if you take the case of this type of relay, if the voltage spikes are there in the system and voltage vibrations are there, suppose there is earthquake and all these kind of natural hazards. So when we have substantial switching surges or lightning surges are there, then they are capable to withstand such type of phenomena. So you can say that these are very rugged. And now the question arises, it is also not free of disadvantages. Some of the disadvantages of this type of relay is that these are some of the advantages, and some of the disadvantages of this type of relay. These are that this consists of moving parts. So first one is, it consists of moving parts. Since it consists of the moving parts, it is you can say that it suffers from the problem of friction. Friction is there. It suffers from the problem of friction. They produce the low torque. Low torque is produced. Low torque is produced. And next is that you can say that it suffers from the problem of high burden. It suffers from the problem of high burden and high power consumption for auxiliary mechanisms. Yeah. High power consumption for auxiliary mechanisms. So, if you take the case of this first disadvantage of that is it is a moving part, so it has they are suffer from the friction. But the second disadvantage is that it contains the low torque is produced. So they produce a very low torque for a certain or several types of fault. So if you take the case of the triple line to ground fault, or triple line occurs in that. So this type of relay produces the low torque, and sometimes they possible that they may not operate, because in that very case the value of the current would be less. So it very much depends upon what is an actuating quantity in that very case, and based on that it can sometimes produce the low torque. Now the third disadvantage is that it has a very high burden. The third disadvantage is that they suffer from the problem of high burden. So that means that whenever so now question arises that what is the burden? So the burden means that whatever load connected across this secondary of the CT. Suppose we have the CT, and this CT is connected to the relay, and this load is connected to the secondary of the CT. That is known as the burden of the CT, and this burden is actually specified in terms of volt amperes. So if I consider the electromechanical type relay, then their circuitries require you can say it will consume a very high power, roughly of the order of, you can say, 60 to 80 watt. Roughly of the order of 60 to 80 watts. So such type of relays are nowadays, you can say, these are least used in the utility. Now the second type of relay is you can say that this is the which came in the market. This type of relay, electromechanical relay, it came in the market in 1901. The second type of the relay, which came in the market, that is the static relay. It came in market in 1950. So that we can discuss in the next lecture. Now, any questions related to that? Any questions?